The Great Hall of the Galactic Conclave was a place that usually hummed with life, but today the air felt thick and heavy, like the moment before a storm breaks. It was a massive space, built not on ground but floating in the empty dark between stars, made of glowing crystal platforms that drifted slowly in the void. Thousands of beings from hundreds of different worlds were gathered there. Some looked like walking clouds of gas, others had shells of hard stone, and some were made of pure light. They had all come for one reason: to decide the fate of Earth. For 300 years, the galaxy had argued about humanity. The older, more powerful species saw humans as a problem that couldn't be fixed. They thought humans were too loud, too angry, and too greedy. Humans fought wars over ideas, used up planets until they were dry, wealthy, and never seemed to follow the strict rules of the Great Stasis, which was the galaxy's main law, saying everyone must stay in their own lane and not bother anyone else. To the conclave, humanity was like a virus spreading through a healthy body. Today, they were finally going to cut it out. The motion on the table was simple but terrifying. It was called the total banishment of Soul 3. This wasn't a death sentence in the traditional sense. No bombs would drop, and no armies would invade. Instead, the plan was much colder. They intended to build an invisible wall around the entire solar system. This wall, a quantum shield, would block all travel, all communication, and all trade. Earth would be completely cut off from the rest of the universe. It would be left alone to drift in the dark until its sun eventually died billions of years later. It was a sentence of eternal loneliness. High Counselor Xylos, a being who looked like a swirling mist of blue and purple vapor, floated above the central stage. He did not speak with a mouth. His words appeared directly in the minds of everyone present. His voice sounded tired, as if he had been carrying a heavy burden for a long time. "The debate is over," he projected to the crowd. "The vote is unanimous. Humanity has shown it cannot live peacefully with others. To save the harmony of the stars, Earth is hereby banished." A wave of relief swept through the hall. You could see it in the way the alien delegates changed color or clicked their limbs together. They believed they had finally solved a huge problem. They thought that by removing humans, the galaxy would become quiet and perfect again. They expected the human delegation to scream, to cry, or to beg for another chance. They waited for a scene of desperation. But the humans did none of those things. At the very bottom of the hall, in the section reserved for the newest and least respected members, the human representative stood up. Her name was not important to the aliens, but to her people. She was the voice of Earth. She wore a plain gray suit that looked dull compared to the shining, magical outfits of the other species. She didn't look scared. She didn't look angry. She actually looked a little bored, as if she had heard this speech 1,000 times before. While the giant shield began to activate far away, visible on the star maps as a shimmering bubble forming around Earth's neighborhood, the woman simply tapped a small device on her wrist. When she spoke, her voice was normal, human sound. Not telepathic magic, yet it cut through the silence clearly. "We accept your verdict," she said calmly. The hall went even quieter. The counselor pulsed with a confused shade of green. "Your acceptance is noted," he replied. "The separation is happening now. You will never trouble the stars again. That is where you are making a big mistake. the woman said, and for the first time, a small, sharp smile appeared on her face. You think you are just removing a problem, but by voting to banish us instead of trying to talk to us or help us, you have done something else. And you have made your real rules obvious to everyone watching. She paused, letting her words sink in. The aliens shifted uncomfortably. What was she talking about? You have shown the entire galaxy exactly how your great stasis works, she continued, her voice getting stronger. You claim to be a group based on peace and cooperation, but today you prove that you are actually a group based on fear and convenience. When you found a neighbor you couldn't control, you didn't try to understand them. You didn't try to fix the issue. You just threw them away. You voted to hide us because we made you uncomfortable. As she spoke, lights started flashing on every delegate's personal screen. Data was pouring in from all over the galaxy. The humans hadn't just been sitting there listening. They had been broadcasting the entire trial live to every corner of known space. Every young species, every small planet on the edge of the galaxy, and every group that had ever been bullied by the Conclave was watching right now. You wanted to hide our chaos? The woman asked, looking straight at the High Counselor. Now the whole universe sees your cowardice. You were so afraid of human fire that you decided to freeze us out. But fire spreads, Counselor. And now every single species that has ever been silenced by your bureaucracy knows the truth. Your rules aren't about honor. They are about power. You exile anyone who disagrees with you. The mood in the Great Hall changed instantly. The confident clicking of insect legs stopped. The beautiful colors of the alien skin turned into dull shades of worry and doubt. Representatives from smaller worlds, who had always trusted the Conclave to protect them, began to whisper to each other. They looked at the High Counselors with new eyes. If the Conclave could vote to erase Earth without a second thought, what would stop them from doing the same to anyone else? What if a small planet disagreed with a big rule tomorrow? Would they be banished next? The unity of the galaxy, which had taken thousands of years to build, started to crack right there in the room. The vote that was supposed to bring safety had instead exposed the weakness of their morality. They realized they had created a dangerous precedent. By trying to remove humanity, they had taught the rest of the galaxy that the Conclave was not a friend, but a judge that could delete you if you became inconvenient. The shield is complete, High Counselor Xylos announced, but his mental voice shook slightly. It was the first time in centuries he had shown fear. Earth is gone. You are isolated. Earth is gone, the woman agreed. She turned around, signaling to her team. But your reputation, that has just arrived. You made your rules very clear today, Counselor. And now you have to live with the fact that the rest of the galaxy knows exactly who you really are. With that, the human delegation walked out of the amphitheater. They didn't run. They walked with their heads high, leaving behind a room full of panicked whispers and a crumbling alliance. Far away, the quantum seal tightened around the solar system, cutting Earth off from the stars. Inside that bubble, humanity prepared for a long, dark night of isolation. But outside, in the vastness of space, the galaxy was waking up to a harsh reality. In their attempt to banish the noise, the Conclave had only amplified the truth. The era of blind obedience was over, and it had ended not with a bang, but with a simple vote that revealed everything.